All right, today we're tackling a massive question, one that's really at the heart of human geography. It's a debate that's been going on for centuries, but honestly, with climate change, it's never been more important. So let's get right into it. The big question is this: who's really in charge? Is it us, humans, or is it the environment? I mean, are we just passengers on this planet, totally at the mercy of Mother Nature? Or have we, with all our technology and smarts, actually become the ones calling the shots? Now, to really wrap our heads around this, we're not just going to talk about abstract theories. No, we're going to look at two real life examples, two lives that are on the absolute opposite ends of the spectrum. One where nature is completely in the driver's seat, and another where it seems like humanity has totally taken the wheel. And through their stories, we're going to unpack two really powerful and totally opposing philosophies that try to answer that big question: who's in charge? Okay, first up, let's jump into a world where nature's power is just absolute. A place where for humanity, it's all about listening, adapting, and, well, just surviving. So, meet Benda. His home is this tiny village, just three little huts, deep in the forests of central India. His tribe has this really ancient way of farming called shifting cultivation. Basically, they clear a small patch of forest, use the ash from burning it to make the soil fertile, and they live completely off of what nature gives them. You see? The physical environment, it runs the whole show. And check this out, because it really gets to the core of this whole mindset. For Benin, nature isn't just a bunch of resources you can use, no way. It's a powerful, living thing. He is completely dependent on it for everything, and because of that, he fears it, he worships it, and he sees it as his protective force, as Mother Nature. You know, Benda's entire life is a perfect example of this idea called environmental determinism. The theory is pretty simple. In the early days of humanity, when our technology was super limited, the environment was just this overwhelming force. It didn't just affect where you lived, it shaped your culture, your society, your entire way of life. So here's the key takeaway. This isn't a story about humans taming nature. It's the complete opposite. It's about humans being naturalized, living in total harmony with their environment, almost like a passive part of the ecosystem, shaped by these massive natural forces. All right, now let's do a complete 180. We're going to flip the script and go from a world of necessity to a world of freedom, a place where it seems like human creativity has practically no limits. Okay, now meet Carrie. She lives in Trondheim, Norway. We're talking fierce winds, heavy snow for months and months. But does that harsh environment run her life? Not a chance. She drives a powerful car with special tires for the ice. She works in an office that's kept at a perfect 23 degrees Celsius, no matter what it's like outside. Her whole university campus is even built under this giant glass dome to keep the snow out. It's incredible. And this is where the difference just blows you away. Think about it. Benda eats what his force provides. Carrie? She's eating bananas and kiwis in the dead of a Norwegian winter, all flown in from warmer places. With just a click of her mouse, she's talking to colleagues in New Delhi. Technology has basically just erased the limitations of her environment. And this whole idea leads us straight to the counterargument, a philosophy called possibilism. The thinking here is that nature doesn't lock us into one single path. Instead, it just lays out a bunch of possibilities, a range of options. And it's up to us, with our skills and our choices, to decide what we're going to do with them. So instead of humans being naturalized, we get the humanization of nature. Humanity is the active force here, leaving our fingerprints all over the planet. Think about it. Health resorts built high up in the mountains, huge farms on the plains, busy ports on the coasts, and even satellites zipping around in space. These are all the marks of human creativity, our imprint on the face of nature. So, okay, we've got these two extremes, right? Nature's in total control, or humans are in total control. But is that it? Is there a middle ground? A more, balanced way to look at all this? Well, it turns out that this idea of possibilism, this free run for humanity, has definitely had some major consequences. Believing we can do pretty much whatever we want has led to things like a damaged ozone layer, rising global temperatures, and ruined landscapes. So that kind of suggests that absolute freedom isn't the whole picture, is it? And this is where a geographer named Griffith Taylor comes in. He came up with a really brilliant idea that kind of brings the two extremes together and reframes the whole debate. He called it stop-and-go determinism. And honestly, the analogy he used is just perfect. Think of traffic lights. Life isn't a state of absolute necessity. That's environmental determinism, where you're always stuck at a red light and can never move.
And it's not a state of absolute freedom. That's possibilism, where you can just blow through every intersection without any consequences. Nope. He said we can conquer nature by obeying it. When nature flashes a red light, a warning sign, we have to stop. But when it gives us the green light, we can go ahead with our development, but in a sustainable way.
So let's just quickly recap these three big ideas. You've got environmental determinism, where humans are passive and nature calls all the shots. Then there's possibilism, where humans are the active ones, picking and choosing from nature's options. And finally, you have neodeterminism, which strikes a balance. It's a partnership where we can move forward, but only if we play by nature's rules. Now, this whole conversation isn't something that just popped up yesterday. It's been at the very core of geography for a long, long time, and the way we think about it has definitely shifted as our world has changed. And you can see that evolution right here. I mean, we started out in the early colonial days just exploring and describing places. Then we moved on to analyzing whole regions. By the mid-20th century, we were using tons of data to understand spatial patterns. And then, more recently, in the 70s and 90s, things got really interesting. We started questioning those big one-size-fits-all theories and started focusing more on human experience, on social issues. The conversation is always evolving. And that brings us right back to today. Look, this isn't just some academic debate. As we stare down the barrel of global climate change, the tension between what our technology can do and what our planet can actually sustain, well, that's become the single most important challenge of our time. And it leaves us with a really critical question we all have to think about.